All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo, the crime reports for those areas. Now, we're in Grand Rapids right now. Again, this is only for the Grand Rapids Police Department. There are no other agencies, just Grand Rapids. All right. And going on further down the road, some people have said, well, they don't go to these areas, they don't live in these areas. Will we be doing anything in any other areas? Yes, we will. It's just hard to get through all the software and pick out a bunch of different areas. And so we will be doing other areas. One area in particular we've been focusing on is Bay City. And so just know that we'll be doing other areas other than the three that we typically report on. Um, anyways, breaking this down a little bit, this is just for the month of March, March 1st through the 31st, 31 days. As you can see, we have a total of 1,000 or more records. It's maxed at 1,000. There's actually, it was 1,070 records total for Grand Rapids. But to make this simple and kind of be able to get through the whole thing, we'll remove the ones that we don't follow, such as here. Let's just do away with DWIs. We do some of the drug related stuff. Homicides; those are always going to be in investigations for a while, so we'll do away with those. Let's see. We'll do away with vandalism. We'll come back to that. Okay. So with those, we've removed probably pretty close to 100 records. Okay. So that's what we have so far in the way of some of these that we kind of look at and pick apart is 952 records. Okay. Minus the ones that we just did. What is this one? And by the way, I haven't seen um, opium. Interesting. Okay, I haven't seen any of these yet. I've been kind of behind the curve a little bit, working on other projects and other things, and so I've been kind of MIA from things. We've been going through different reports and collecting information about different crimes that have happened, and so on and so forth. And so, just kind of know that I am pretty much doing this one without a whole lot of information on a lot of these to give you. So, but we will be rolling out some police reports soon. We are still working on a few from last month too that we're looking for either security footage or body cam footage or things like that. So anyway, let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's start breaking it down. We'll deselect them. Now, when I was talking about the Lansing one, we had mentioned arsons. Over the last couple months, I really don't pay attention to arsons that much. But we did stumble into some that were like, okay, this is pretty wild and interesting. And so we might do a few with arsons. Grand Rapids doesn't really have an arson problem, so not relevant to what we do. So we have assaults. They're still pretty high up there in number. Uh, Over the 300 mark, we have 360 records for assaults, and they could be simple assaults or assault and batteries. Um, if you've seen some of the other ones that we did, a lot of these are going to be connected to the people that they know. Um, you know, most of them are domestic related, something like that. So people should really bring back those family values and those family morals instead of fighting their family all the time. You just got to love people where they're at. But that's what we see a lot of in Grand Rapids. They're not really, um, you know, the street stuff. It's mainly like this one: aggravated assault, family, other weapon. It's usually family stuff. So they're most of these are going to be realistically classified in charges domestics. That's not the case in all of them, but we have 360 of them. Okay, still a lot. Whatever happened to close families anyway? Like, did COVID just totally smash the deal on that, or what? Anyway, burglaries. These are all going to be different classifications too. You can see no forced entry, um, No forced entry on a residence. These are a little bit more descriptive. Forced entry. This one's probably going to be a home invasion. Um, the thing about these is it just gives you like the mild description, right? You actually have to get the full story to be able to determine if these were breaking and enterings, if they were uh, just burglaries, if they were home invasions, what they really were. And so anyway, we have 29 of them. Let me see what some of these other ones are. Yeah. And so for you people that are new to watching this channel that we have, or video podcast, whatever it is you want to call it, um, you know one good thing that you can do with softwares like these is you can always look up the information, so you can see like the general idea of where it's at. Maybe you're not interested in digging into these. That's what we do. But maybe you're just kind of looking for your own data points for maybe your small neighborhood or your community or whatever. You can always see where these crimes happened, time of day. You have the incident number and the agency it came from. Okay, and so just really good for data points. To me, this looks more isolated than stretched out like it typically is. It seems like the pockets are closer together. That could be just because I'm not zoomed in on the actual map. Um, but we have 29 records for burglaries. And soon we'll be rolling out your burglary statistics for the city of Grand Rapids. So uh, be mindful of that. That'll be coming out here really, really, really soon. All right. So disturbing the peace, another one we really don't follow. Just from time to time, some of these are pretty funny, like interesting. You always see it says resisting officer. There's a lot of those. And these could be a lot of things. What I typically try to look for is like, the people that make asses out of themselves while they're drunk, something like that. Those are usually the ones that I like to look at, but I don't get into those details that much. But there you go. For disturbing the peace, you have 28 records. All right. Let's move on. Some drugs and alcohol, and I've learned a few things about, because I don't really follow like the whole drugs, alcohol, DWI, sales of crack, and all that other crap. I mean, I do to a degree because there's something to say about crime in the area as it pertains to drugs, right? But in the scheme of things, I really don't like get into the details of it, right? Like I don't really look at the addicts, the type of drugs, what made them go after this drug in particular. But recently, I learned some really interesting things, and so now you see there's a lot more records here. Okay, 94, and if you go back and watch the other ones, you can see this is a pretty big jump for drugs or open intox is that one. Possession of alcohol in a motor vehicle. See, so some of these are just stupid people being stupid, right? You have crack possession, crack possession. Of course, the area of Grand Rapids is crack, cocaine, and I believe heroin, right? But anyway, those are what a lot of these are. This one was pretty interesting. The possession, and hold on one second. Where did that one go? Where did it go? Right here. I'm wondering. I'm wondering if these are connected. Let me just see what this other one is. Okay. Hmm. Huh. Okay. So I'm wondering if this is part of an investigation, but I'm wondering if this one and this one are linked. Maybe we'll find out. If so, it's still going to be under investigation and they won't give me any information on it. That's okay. Eventually it'll come out. But that's kind of what I look for with some of these. And later on, as we go down the road, I don't want to say anything right now publicly. But as we go down the road, I want to share some things as it relates to communities like these and how you can tell if there is an investigation going on. But I'm not going to say anything right now. Okay. So, anyway, 94 records on the drugs and alcohol. Um, you know, let's move on. The DWIs again, I don't care about. Um, if people want to be that stupid behind the wheel, that's up to them. Shame on them. Um, and they should really stop it. There's Ubers and all that. Fraud, we don't really pay too much attention to fraud. Every now and again, um, we'll jump on to different, uh, softwares and kind of look and see. Like embezzlement's pretty interesting. I wonder if this happened at a church or where this happened at. So anyway, embezzlement's a pretty interesting one. I think you can always, pull apart information. But anyway, I just don't follow fraud that much. Okay, 35 records. Uh, let's see what we got for homicides. None. Okay, good. Car thefts. All right, so Lansing's got Grand Rapids beat by a landslide. Uh, Lansing's got more than half, or Grand Rapids has got half, less than half, of what Lansing did for the month. The thing about Grand Rapids that I've seen anyways when it comes to car thefts is that's usually where they end. That's not typically where they start. Okay, like for one, we looked at one, it was last month, and the vehicle was actually stolen in Benton Harbor. Okay, but it was recovered in Grand Rapids. And so um, there's some very interesting things between Lansing and Grand Rapids in the way of motor theft, but it can still paint an overall picture. It's like a textbook picture, but I don't like textbook that much. It works, but I want to get into the details. And so be waiting for these to come out. Okay. Because some of them are pretty interesting. And then, of course, we have the footage with some of them that we're waiting on as well. But anyway, yeah, 45 records for vehicle theft. Let's see what robbery is. Now, I had to crack up because if you guys are new to this or you don't see us on Facebook or uh, YouTube, did you guys see the one where that dude got his ass whooped by another guy that had like something in his sock? Just whooped his ass with the sock, man. I thought that was wild. We did put that police report out. I think it's on YouTube, but it was definitely on our Facebook. Anyway, so robberies, most of these that we've been able to get to had some kind of drug in the description. Okay, not saying that the robber was on drugs, but you had reason to believe that the altercation started because of a substance. Okay, or it was just involved in that anyways. So anyway, if you're interested in these robberies that are happening around Grand Rapids, be sure to follow us on Facebook and on our YouTube because we will be putting out most of those reports. Anyway, you had 9. So let's jump back down. Don't really follow too much of the larceny, so we'll see what we got with larceny. 174 records. Damn, that's a lot. But a lot of businesses there. So anyway, I would assume that a lot of these larcenies are happening from businesses. Uh, anyway, some of these too, like, oh, that was a retail fraud in the first degree. Where's that one about the yard? You guys just see that a minute ago? No. Anyway, some of them aren't really yard. Before we looked at some of those and we're like, oh man, what'd they steal out of the yard? The sign or yard art or whatever. Sometimes it's trailers. Vandalism. We might start following some of these because we're noticing some interesting patterns. Let's see how criminal damage. Criminal damage. Okay, he had 110 records, and I think that's a lot in comparison to other months. But I'm not really sure. We don't really follow them. We might do a little bit of work on them if it doesn't take us away from what we do. But pretty interesting. Vehicle theft break ins. 76. Okay. Most important thing, don't leave valuables in your vehicle and lock your doors. Okay. Weapons. Lately, especially around the Lansing area, I find these to be interesting. Um, just different. Some of these, we haven't gotten all of ours back from last month from Grand Rapids, but hopefully we start getting those back here really soon. I think this number's up a little bit, but I'm not sure. But anyway, you got 35 of them, okay, for the month. Let's see what these are. All right. Nothing that's standing out. The one thing I will say is I can't do two things at one time. Kalamazoo has got some interesting stuff with their weapons charges. Like, in my opinion, Kalamazoo is not like a family friendly place. Like, to me, that place is a shithole. All right, anyway, 35 records. Let's see where we're going next. Looks like that's it. Oh, we didn't do sex crimes. Let's see what you guys got. Okay, so pretty much about the same as any typical month. We haven't put any of these out yet, and we'll just try to. This is kind of a sensitive area, very hard to get. For one, a lot of data on. Two, it's a lot of times it just it's pretty sensitive stuff. Okay, and disturbing. So maybe we'll just put together a graph. But there you go. You have 38 records for the month. These are all sex crimes. Let's see how Grand Rapids a sex offense. That's probably someone like urinating in public or something. Okay, so that's yeah. All right. Now remember, uh, if you've taken a concealed carry class, you know that you can protect against. Never seen that one before. Anyway, you can protect people and yourself against sexual assault, depending on you know what it is. But anyway, it's definitely worth looking into. Okay, so that's where we're going to be for there. Let's jump down to Kalamazoo and see what we got going on there. Okay, so here we have Kalamazoo with 492 records. Now go back in the previous months that we've done, and you'll see that's a pretty big increase. That's a pretty big jump. Okay, at least if I remember correctly. All right. I mean, I wish Battle Creek would get in on this too. Um, yeah, they got some different stuff going on. But anyway, so we have 492 records in for that month. Let's break it down. See what we got. Two arsons. Definitely going to follow those because Kalamazoo just got interesting people. Okay, 175 assaults. Now, most of the time with these, um, it's usually like a domestic, uh, that kind of thing. Phone use for harassment. That's going to be an intimidation and stalkings, probably minors. You know. Anyway, 175 assaults for the area. To me, that seems like a lot because Kalamazoo is not even that big. Anyway, so there we have it for Kalamazoo, and then we have burglaries. Most of the time, these are all home invasions, entering without permission. So those people have their doors unlocked. There's a home invasion. There's a home invasion. Yep, most of these are going to be home invasions. And I would say that not all of them turn violent. I would say the chicks that live in Kalamazoo are crazy. Because a lot of times that's what we see in Kalamazoo is the ladies. It's the ladies. It's never the guys. Sometimes it's guys, but there's, you know, just seems to be, you'll see. Just follow the police reports. You'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, there was 27. Seems to be about relatively the same in numbers, averaging out about the same anyway. So there's that. By the way, do you guys even watch the police reports? Do you get those? Do you like them? What do you want to see change with them? Like, give me some feedback on it. Okay. Um, but anyway, we're always putting out police reports disturbing the peace. Like I said, we don't really follow these. Every now and again, we get into them, harassing communications. Yeah, I don't even know what those are. So, anyway, there was eight. Let's go to drugs. Now, this is an interesting piece. Now, this is going to be a data point for you. Okay. Remember the last 2 months we seen, okay, this one's only got one. All right, so that's different. There's only one. Hold on a second. Ah, there it is, 15. 15. So we know there's 16, but I just want you to go back, and now I did some of my own research on this, and I'm not going to talk about that research right now. Maybe later down the road, months and months and months down the road, but just depends. Now you would think this was all at one address. Anyway, I'm going to close it up there, and I'm just going to leave that there the way it is, and you can go back and watch the other ones and see what you can draw from it. All right. So we have some other heroin manufacturing and sales. We have some possession of methamphetamines, another possession of methamphetamines. We have some uh, heroin sales. The list goes on. Possession. Okay. Yep. More of that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of hard drugs down there. Okay, we have 56 records. Go back and watch the ones we did for February and March. See what the difference is, the number is, and then see what kind of data collection you can do and base an assessment. Okay? Very interesting down there. Okay? Anyway, that's probably a large part of where their crime is coming from. Outside of the drugs, if they did away with drugs and just shipped those guys off to, no man's land and told them to do whatever the heck they want to do, Kalamazoo would probably be a very nice place to live. It would probably grow. All right. Anyway, 22 records for car thefts. We'll get into those on the graphs too. I'll be honest, I haven't really got into a lot of vehicle thefts in that areas in the way of like getting the police reports and collecting information. It's just not something I've had the time to really do. But they got a lot of other interesting things going on. These robberies, three, so they're pretty low on the scale. And I think last month there was like two or three, or so not very big in the way of robberies. Sex crimes for 3 months straight, I have not seen one sex crime down there. So that can be contributed to several things. We have larcenies. Again, I don't really follow them. Uh, the ones that we've seen that we have looked up from yards, where it says from yards, typically it's something that's stolen out of the driveway of their house. The one time we looked at the one, I thought it was going to be like a yard sign or whatever. It actually ended up being a guy's dump trailer right out front. Cut his lock off and everything. Okay. All right. So where were we? Vandalism. Got a little bit more vandalism going on. Let's see how they classify it on this GIS mapping. Private property, private property. Okay. Maybe we'll look at a few. See if we can't get some footage on it. Now, if you're from the Grand, let's see, not Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo. Vehicle theft break-ins, 29, pretty consistent. And then weapons charges. Now, we looked at one last month. It was an IED, and there's ones right there, teaching use. I'm going to have to get that report and find out what that is. Okay, because this one says teaching use, so it's an itinerary device. And the last month they had one of these on there, if you guys remember, and it was actually guys were trying to chuck Mandalo cocktail bombs at a church and failed. Okay, so we're still waiting to get some footage back on that, but we're going to be putting that out. We'll get the rest of these weapons charges out. We got one that's coming. Where we'll have body cam footage on it for sure. So pretty interesting stuff. 16 records. You could see they're kind of sort of going up a little bit. They usually don't have a lot to begin with anyways, but that is where we're at. So let's go back again for the month of March in Kalamazoo. You have 492 records, which is a pretty big jump up there. Anyway, follow us on our Facebook page. Follow us or like and subscribe on YouTube. We will be putting out more content. Look for our graphs, the police reports, and body cam footage. And don't forget about our Patreon account either. Okay? Let us know what you like. We've only been doing this for a very short time, and so I want to make sure I'm catering this stuff for you guys and giving you good crime prevention tips as we go through some of the footage. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. You have a great one. Stay safe out there.